Family, what it do? It's your girl Toot, and we are back with another video. Shout out to y'all, man. I appreciate y'all for coming back and tuning in. Now, you guys know we've been doing a deep dive on a Iyana Sawyer slash Jonathan Quilles trial, okay? This is some very disturbing shit. I want to say that it's kind of like similar to, not kind of, but it's very similar to the Naziah Harris case. If you have kind of been missing up on the witness testimonies, all you have to do is go on Tutti Uncensored and click the Iyana Sawyer's playlist, and you can get caught up to speed. Now, what we're about to do right now is we're going to get into the mother's impact statement. I really want to see this, and we'll get into this, and then we're going to go. So let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Yes, Your Honor, you do.
Ms. Moe, can you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, ma'am. Go ahead, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just please state your name for the record. And Ms. Mobley, are you the mother of I.S. and the grandmother of Hazel?
I am.
And have you prepared a typed statement to read to Your Honor today?
Yes, I am.
Okay, go ahead, ma'am. Just take your time.
I remember looking up at my mother in a state of confusion. I stood up to excuse myself from a conference room full of people. I found myself standing in a restroom trying to catch my breath. I felt the tightness in my chest and my legs immediately collapsed. I fell to the floor and began to cry. My cries turned into screams of terror as I lay there in disbelief. February 12, 2019 was the day my world forever changed. This was the day I found out that my Yanni and little Hazel were gone forever. Before I could even make it home and tell my children, I received a call that it was already aired by the local news stations. I rushed home and immediately gathered my children because I wanted to be the one to tell them. I had to find a way to let them know that their sister and niece was gone. I will never forget the look on their faces when I told them. It was so hurtful because there wasn't anything I could do to help ease their pain as they all broke down. The next few months were so hard trying to keep my kids moving forward because Iyana was always a major part of their lives. She often turned her laptop into a projector and turned the room into a classroom. She was their biggest supporter and always pushed them to do their very best. After the situation, my kids began to struggle in school. Often I would see the news station at her bus stop speaking to anyone who would talk. I would have to pick them up from school early frequently. Other days they couldn't find the strength to even get out of bed. Everything they worked so hard to accomplish began to slip away. Although I was trying to further my own education, I took a break from college only to never return. Work was another struggle for me. Being in the medical field is my responsibility to help others, but there was nothing I could do to help myself. I would often go into empty offices or go sit in my car just to cry. I isolated.
You would think that this testimony, like you would think that hearing a mother, right? Especially if you're a parent, and believe it or not, Jonathan Quilles have other children, and you would think that there would be a little bit of humanity, you know what I'm saying, when he'll hear her statement, right, and then he'll just think about being a parent as well. You already know he don't give a fuck about his own kids because he even did some very malicious acts in front of his very small child. You know what I'm saying? And that is sleeping with IS while his other daughter just laid right there in the bed. But my thing is, give her some closure, bro. You know exactly where her daughter is. You know what I mean? And at this point, you're doing life anyway. You know what I mean? Just give her some closure. You would think that if you ever gave a fuck about your wife, which is her sister, you dig what I mean? That you will at least do the right thing, and they just would not do it. They want that control all the way to the end, and that's some sad ass shit.
Myself from my friends and my family and went into a deep state of depression. We would often go on random family outings. She loved the water, so we would go to Mayport various piers and a river walk. Sometimes we would just take random car rides. Iyana was always so happy-go-lucky and would have all of us cracking up laughing. There was an awkward silence the first car ride we took without her. Our smiles were replaced with crooked smiles, and our laughter was replaced with silence. Holidays are so hard. The first Christmas without her was the hardest. There were so many unopened gifts under the tree with her name on them. We tried to keep our family traditions of going to look at Christmas lights on Gerber Road because this was one of our favorite things to do. I will never forget our last Halloween. We went to pick out costumes and it took me by surprise when she told me she didn't need one. She took my badge and my scrubs and dressed up as me for Halloween. Mother Day will always feel different because now I have 3 instead of 4. I'll never get another Mother's Day card for her with coupons for back rows of flowers handpicked from my garden. Iyana was full of life and wanted to do so many things. She wanted to be a pediatrician. I thought about being a lawyer. To my mom, she was going to be a lawyer because she could talk her way out of almost anything. She was thoughtful, caring, responsible, ambitious, articulate, a leader, a comedian, and so many other things. She was just a breath of fresh air. She was everything you could ask for in a daughter. Regardless of the picture that was painted, we were so close. She was my first love. I would never hear her say, "I love you," or hear her say, "I got some tea." I would never receive another FaceTime from her while I'm at work. I would never hear my granddaughter's first cries in the delivery room. I would never get to hold my granddaughter or get her in the middle. Or get her in the middle of the night like my mom did with Iyana. I would never get to see her as a mother. She was so happy when I told her I was taking maternity leave. When the baby was born, these things was taken from us just as she was. She wasn't in an accident. She didn't fall ill. She was murdered.
And just his face. His face when he's just hearing this lady's heart broke like this. You know what I'm saying? And this smug look that he's getting. And then you got this motherfucker, the minister, want to sit up here on the stand talking about he's a good guy because he done wiped some asses and clipped some long ass toenails. See, it's stuff like this that bothers me because, see, the men is the ones that got to hold these motherfuckers accountable. Bro, y'all breaking bread, ha with these type of niggas, giving them pointers, and mamas is up here heartbroken. I don't get it. I don't get y'all. But we'll kill each other in a heartbeat, though, won't we? You know what I'm saying? But when it comes down to standing for something, y'all don't want to stand on 10 when it come down to stuff like this. Pissing me off.
Even saying the words don't feel right coming out of my mouth. I would have never imagined this would happen all because she was pregnant. Being the youngest in the family, I've always had the support of my older siblings. I have a special relationship with each of them, and they're always been there for me. I remember when my daughters were much younger, one of my sisters kept them while I was working. When I picked them up, their hair was braided in the cutest style. From that moment on, it was beads and braids. Braids and breeds, sorry. They love to play Just Dance at another aunt's house. As much as my nephew tried, he could never beat her. We have family gatherings on a regular basis because we want our kids to grow up together. Never did I believe our family would experience this type of loss. This situation has caused severe trust issues and has forever changed that special bond. Over the past few years, I replayed a lot of scenarios in my mind. What if some of the things that I've learned throughout the trial have been brought to my attention? What if I found out she was pregnant earlier? What if I was told that my daughters was questioned by their aunts about an inappropriate relationship, or what prompted them to be questioned in the first place? I would have never put my daughters in harm's way had I known these things. I will have to live the rest of my life with that what ifs. Although I will never get over this loss, I'm so thankful that justice was served. There were so many people that assisted us in the justice process. To Detective Abbott and Milliwicky, thank you for everything. It didn't matter how many times or how late I called. You were both there for me and never once rushed me off the phone. I appreciate both of you more than you'll ever know. Thank you to all the detectives and novices that searched the landfill for several days in those dreadful conditions. You are truly thankful for you all. To the state attorneys, Stacy and Dan, I can never express my gratitude for our time and the efforts that you put to ensure justice was served. To everyone at the state attorney office, thank you. Only to my family, I'm speechless. I love y'all. Thank you to our judicial system, the forces of
Yeah, he just sighed with his bitch ass.
Iyana.
No, they never found her.
We heard things that no one should ever hear in a lifetime. However, justice was served. I thank God for the 16 years that I was able to spend with her. Until we meet again, I love you forever. Thank you. Thank you.
Your Honor, that's all good to go.
Ms. French, to clarify, if there's no further evidence or testimony from the state.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Defense, do you guys have anything?
I'm going to actually put the judge statement on here too, and we'll also see the verdict. And then tomorrow we'll get into the last little bit of the closing testimonies. But I wanted to get into this now because this is so fucking it's so cutthroat, and it's just sad that even in the end, she not gonna get no kind of relief. And that's just sad as fuck. But let's get back into it.
Impact it has on people beyond this courtroom. Although it's the state of Florida versus Jonathan Quilles, this court has been filled with people beyond that. Aunts, uncles, grandparents, cousins, and even on the defense side, his brother, his aunts, his cousins. And then what goes unmentioned is his 5 children. And per my math, one of them was probably born a month after he was arrested. He's probably maybe 4 or 5 years old now. And none of those 5, although they have to live with this, they don't deserve that. It just shows you the impact of one decision impacts so many people beyond the criminal justice system. The last thing I want to add is out during trial. Uh, the family found out early December the 3rd, and then the rest of the family found out December 6th regarding Iyana's pregnancy. She had no revisit on December 13th. I recall the testimony coming out that the child at that point, the pregnancy was 22 weeks and 5 days. And if you do the math, 6 days later, December 19th, she would have been 23 weeks and 4 days. Two people were murdered.
I'm glad the judge acknowledged that, because that's going to be an acknowledgement that we're probably not going to get from the Zaya. You know what I mean? And that's the sad part of it. But I'm glad that he's acknowledging and putting a focal point that there were two lives that were gone. You dig what I mean? And this is the thing about it. It's so weird because everybody in Nazaya's family knew she was pregnant, but there was no doctor reports. They didn't take her to the doctor. They didn't see how far along. But it's crazy. As much as everything that rolled out, everybody knew that she was with child, and that's crazy as fuck to me.
That baby could feel love and comfort. Sadly, because of Mr. Cortez, he made sure it felt pain. That baby was a real person. I find some comfort knowing that she was with her mother at the time. Sir, you can stand with your attorneys at the podium. So, Mr. Cortez, you were found guilty by a jury of your peers on all three counts of the indictment, the only difference being that the jury found you guilty and made a finding that you discharged the firearm. As to count one, you're adjudicated guilty of that offense. You're sentenced to life in prison with a 20-year minimum mandatory as required by Florida law. You have 1,537 days credit. As to count two, you're adjudicated guilty. You're sentenced to life in prison. You have 0 days credit. Count two is consecutive to count one. Count three, The sexual battery charge, you were adjudged guilty. You're sentenced to life in prison. Count with 0 days credit. Count 3 is consecutive to count 2. Count 3 does carry surcharges of 201, 151, and $151 as required by Florida statutes. State anything else we got?
Just that he is designated sex predator, does he go with record, Your Honor?
I did sign the order designating him a sexual predator, and it will be filed with the clerk's office today.
And that was all Your Honor, thank you.
Defense, anything from defense?
There you go.
If I didn't say so, and maybe I know I announced the 20-year min-man on count 1, there's also that 20-year min-man on count 2 as well. I think everything else I covered in my other sentence. There is 518 in court costs and $50 PD application, if I didn't say so. State, last chance, did I capture everything?
Yes, Your Honor, that's all I can think of now that you put the designation as well.
Anything I need to clarify?
No, Your Honor.
If anything I need to add or clarify?
There you go.
All right, thank you guys. I hope, I know it's been a long 4.5 years. Hopefully it brings some kind of closure to both sides, especially the Mobley and Sawyer family. So with that said, we'll be in recess.
I love it. Hold on, y'all. I want to see one other part real quick. And I just want to see this part. Hoe ass nigga, you. That's why he was over there deep sign. He was crunchy. Crunchy munchy. Yeah, that was the first time that I seen the judge. It seemed like he was choked the fuck up. The judge seemed very choked up when he was speaking about the baby. You know what I'm saying? That was a part that I felt like, you know what I'm saying, that was just, I don't know. It was just, it's just, I don't know. I was very happy about that. I don't know. I wanted to play this last part, but I think we got the timestamps wrong. It don't matter. We'll get into it tomorrow. On this one. So it's only 3 more parts that we're gonna get into tomorrow, but I just really wanted to see that part. As far as the mother's impact statement. I'm praying to God that somewhere down the line, they can completely know exactly what happened to their child. I just be wishing that sometimes predators at least give people the benefit of doubt when it comes down to that. Because that shit is just fucking sad as hell to me. Y'all hold on 1 second, okay?